Hello, it is Monday, August 7th, 2023. I'm Chris Raymond. Welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Monday puzzle today, which means it should be a very approachable, themed crossword in store for us today. Hopefully that ends up being the case because I do not have very much time to solve it. So it should be fine. And this presumably very approachable edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by the Lake House Bros, William Arundel, Adam and Annette Noble, and, as always, the indomitable Shoalmaster and the incredible Horan family. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They're bringing us this series, sustaining this channel. For that, I am incredibly appreciative. Thank you to them. Thank you to everybody who's a patron of the Patreon campaign. And if you'd like to become one yourself, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field where you can find the bonus videos available to patrons, such as, most recently, the New York Times Cryptic Crossword, yesterday's New York Times Cryptic Crossword from their variety puzzles that I solved on the channel. Struggled a bit in the middle, but other than that, it went reasonably well. And yeah, if you might be interested, I don't know, check it out if so. There's a link in the description field, of course, as I said. And thank you to everybody who's a patron at any level. Do also subscribe to the channel on YouTube. That's a big help. And you can also join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field to that friendly chat community. All right, let's get on to today's crossword. This is a collaboration by Chloe Reverie and Alyssa Revness. It is the, I think, second puzzle by Chloe Reverie and a debut by Alyssa Revness. So 2 relatively new constructors to the New York Times anyway. And it was edited, of course, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving and see what's in store on this, hopefully, gentle Monday puzzle. Not in a bottle at a bar. So something's maybe available at a bar, not in bottled form. It could be on tap, on draft. And a prefix with potent or present could be omni, as in omnipotent or omnipresent. And like many blinking signs that say open, those are often neon signs. A gait between a walk and a canter is a trot, a horse's trot. That sounds, I guess, right. I don't know that I would have remembered that a trot is slower than a canter, but there we have it. Sounds plausible to me. Teen's skin woe could be acne, and South Dakota's capital is Pierre, South Dakota. I think that might be the answer. This looks correct. Thanks in French is merci, merci, and not a single person is no one. Monster on the web. Well, on the web looks like internet something. Oh, internet troll, probably. There we go. So this could be the theme. Maybe it's in a very common position for the theme, which would be a sort of long across answer, roughly 25% down the grid. Okay, says yes, but silently. One nods. Flower with thorns, roses, of course, have thorns. And viral jokes like Grumpy Cat and Sad Frog. Those are memes on the internet where you might find a troll. To make a formal speech maybe is to orate. And a fine setting on a hose nozzle is, I'm not sure. What do you call that? Fine setting on a hose nozzle. A thin stream. Not sure. New York City home to Van Goghs. The Starry Night is MoMA, I presume, the Museum of Modern Art. That would be my guess. Let's check the crosses. Oh, mist. Oh, right. Okay, so it's not a thin stream. It's, I see, a sort of fine spray of water, a mist of water from the hose. There we have it. And Idle, who sang, always look on the bright side of life while tied to a cross. This is Eric Idle of Monty Python in the film The Life of Brian. Excellent film. And counterpart of feminine would be masculine. And something built up as interest, it accrued. Transfer something from a device to the cloud, say, would be to upload it. And a ring-shaped reef is an atoll. The home of Mongolia and Myanmar would be the continent of Asia. If one bronzes in the sun, one tans. A sound from a pig pen could be an oink. Let's check the crosses here just to be safe. To inquire is to ask something. A traveler's stopover is an inn. And Japanese manga heroine with a feline sidekick named Luna. Based purely on the crosses, I have to imagine this is correct. It must be Sailor Moon. I've certainly heard of Sailor Moon, the Japanese anime character, so it must be this one. She must have a feline sidekick named Luna. I guess that would make sense because Luna clearly referencing the moon, so that seems correct to me. Messenger molecule would be RNA, messenger RNA, certainly a concept we've heard about in recent years, and to consecrate with oil would be to anoint with oil. Tango and foxtrot for two, those are dances, so this is a very light misdirection, I suppose, because tango and foxtrot are also, they're from the International Radio Alphabet, right? The international, the also called the NATO alphabet, but in this case, that's not what they're referencing. Okay, monster on the highway, speed demon. There we go. All right, so this is the theme. We're taking, monstrous creatures and we're using them in common phrases. So there we go. Internet troll, speed demon. Opinion columns in brief could be op-eds, and in a newspaper, for instance, and a busy buzzer, a busy bee, buzzes around. Been there, done that, you might declare, smugly perhaps, and a sailor's affirmation would be I, captain, a sailor might say. Single feature of a cyclops would be its one eye. A container used to make a sandcastle would be the pail that you could use to mold the sand. If you're not showing any emotion, you are being stoic. And a suffix with kitchen or bachelor, kitchenette, or bachelorette, both are words. And then here we have a word after muscle or dial, so muscle tone or dial tone. There we go. Dial tone certainly becoming a less relevant concept in the world as kind of traditional landline telephones wane in usage. OOs in James Bond novels. So, don't they say that the 00 in the James Bond universe is the license to kill? Is that what's going on, or is that... Oh, they're agents. Sorry, I see, yes. The 00s are the agents, so 007, 006, 008, I guess, I don't know. But there we go. Okay, early word for a baby. Mama or papa, probably, but we don't know which just yet. Or dada could be. Monster with a sweet tooth. Oh, something fiend? A sugar fiend? Is that a phrase? Doesn't sound immediately recognizable to me, but it sounds plausible enough. That would make this dada. The fiend bit I'm more confident in. Oops, what am I doing? Blank and soul, body and soul is a phrase to indicate you're all. Fitness enthusiast slangily is a gym rat, I think is what you'd call that sort of person, gym rat. I'm sure I've seen that before. Equipment in a control tower, a radar in a flight control environment maybe. And a place of combat could be the arena, the combat arena. Exams are tests. To trim down is to pare down. The Ides of March, beware the Ides of March. I learned recently, I think lied is itself also a word for March. So you could have the Ides of Lied. I could be misremembering that slightly, but I just liked the sound of that. I don't know if anyone's ever said the Ides of Lied, but now I have. Tirade is a rant. Some time periods are eras. Monster who drains people emotionally. Oh, an energy vampire. This is a phrase that I think has been used maybe, I wonder how old it is. I think maybe just within the last decade or so. I think I most recently encountered it on the show What We Do in the Shadows, which I guess spun off of the film of the same name, which is also good. I think it's been actually used in a few places, but it's certainly newer than these other things: Internet Troll or Sugar Fiend or Speed Demon. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Maybe it's not. That's my suspicion. Anyway, devices often found under stovetops, ovens, of course. Lord Byron, Don Juan poet. Literary heroine Jane Eyre. Oh, here we have two sort of literary crosses. One author and one character. Greek sandwich with tzatziki would be a gyro. I haven't had one of those in a while. It sounds good. 1982 film whose use of CGI made it ineligible for a Best Visual Effects Oscar. That is fascinating. I did not know that. Tron. Well, boy, things have changed in that regard, haven't they? I guess the idea of what visual effects were was just sort of mechanically different at that point, which makes sense. Roughly half of babies to their parents would be sons. Broccoli tips are florets. Not feeling well would be ill. Top quality as beef is prime beef, right? USDA prime beef, you could say in the United States. A highly active person is a dynamo. You could say, yeah, she's a real dynamo. Feeling of deep anxiety would be angst. Pic file format is a JPEG, probably, in this case. Shows as a TV show. Airs, you air something on television, you show it. Big part of a T-Rex, it's a jaw, I suppose. Sunset direction would be west, and so here we have pastry in a county fair competition is a pie. And designers of Disney attractions are Imagineers. Right, formerly employees of WED Enterprises. I think I mentioned in the puzzle the other day. Having a graceful and elegant bearing is poised. Yeah, it seems right. Pinnacle is the acme, the highest point, the peak. Where hair roots grow is one's scalp. And a commercial prefix with pen is EpiPen. But let's just look at the crosses quickly. Made the grade, you passed a test. Occupy Wall Street, protest movement. Actress Ward, Stella Ward. Certainly encountered that name before. And so EpiPen is the answer. There we go. That was the Monday crossword. As hoped for and as expected, it was a relatively approachable puzzle. So here we had our simple theme dealing with recontextualizing monstrous creatures in metaphorical contexts. So we had an internet troll, a speed demon, a sugar fiend, and an energy vampire. Oh, and each of these, right, they're specifically monsters because the word monster is quoted in each clue in the sort of scare quotes format to indicate being a bit facetious. So there we have it. That was a nice, simple theme with inside of a nice, simple puzzle, exactly what we want on a Monday. And I thought that came together pretty nicely. And let me know if you are aware of the age of the phrase energy vampire. It feels like the newest of these to me by a long shot. Even internet troll, which is obviously a new phrase, feels older to me than this one. But I could be completely wrong about that. Anyway, there we have it. That was the crossword for Monday, August 7th. Hope you enjoyed it. I did. And I'll be back tomorrow, of course, for the Tuesday crossword. It should be another relatively approachable theme inside of a relatively approachable crossword. So join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Monday. Take care.